Welcome back everyone. I hope you're doing well and not feeling too overwhelmed by trying to create the perfect pleated pattern. I'm here to assist you, guiding you through each step and keeping it simple. I understand pleats can be quite tricky at times, so let's jump in and make this process smooth and enjoyable. Let's go! First, what you want to do is click on the avatar, go to Measure, Edit Avatar Measure, click on the waist circumference in the 3D window and write it down. Mine is 63. This will be our waist pattern length. Of course, if your waistband has stretch in it, you should lower the value or add 1 cm ease if there is no stretch, but that depends on the material. For the purpose of this tutorial, we will leave it at 63. Now let's create the waistband. It will consist of 2 equal pattern pieces, the front and the back. First, the front pattern piece. 63 divided by 2 is 31.5, but we'll circle it down to 32 so it will be easier. Choose the height as you wish. I chose 5 centimeters. Here I am adding just a little bit of curvature and adjusting the side seam to follow the curve of the body just slightly. Now I want each pleat to be 2 centimeters wide, so let's split the lower outline of the pattern. 32 divided by 2 is 16. So the number of segments is 16 and that equals 16 pleats with 2 centimeters of width. Let's add the lower front pattern piece of the skirt. So our one pleat is 2 centimeters wide. Now, for it to fold nicely into a pleat, you should use 3 times that width, so 6 centimeters of fabric in total. And that's why the width of the pattern piece has to be 3 times the width of the waistband. So let's see, 32 times 3 equals 96, so 96 is our width, and you can enter the desired height depending on the desired length of your skirt. When you right-click on the side seam line, choose Add Equidistant Internal Lines. Make sure the distance between these lines is the size of your pleat, which is 2 centimeters. Add these lines across the entire pattern piece, and you'll have evenly distributed internal lines that will fold into pleats. And this creates a neat and uniform pleated pattern. You have to make sure to select all the points of the created lines, right-click and extend them to the outline. This is really important because otherwise you won't be able to sew the pleats to the waistband later on. Now go to Pleats Fold. Click at the center of the first pleat and continue through to the center of the last pleat. Double-click to confirm. In the pop-up window, we will stick with knife pleats in the options for today. Choose 3 internal lines per pleat. Keep the fold angle as it is, however, feel free to experiment with it later for different effects or results. Our goal for today is to create simple and classic knife pleats. Freeze the waistband and strengthen the pleated front of the skirt. This helps the simulation run smoothly. Position the pattern pieces in place and also move up the avatar's hands so they are not in the way. You can do this in the 3D window. Just click Avatar Skeleton and follow my lead. And finally, it's time to see how these pleats turned out. Navigate to Pleat Sewing and first select the waistband outline. Follow by selecting the skirt outline that will be sewn together. They should match perfectly if we've done the math correctly beforehand. Click Simulate and voila! While there might be a few issues, simply pull on the pleat and it should correct itself. For the pleats to look smoother and not so sharp, here is a little trick. Select all the internal lines, right-click, add Equidistant Internal Line. The value of the space should be 0.2, count should be 1, and tick the box where it says double side and extend to outline. Also, adjust the fold angle in the property editor to 175. Lower the particle distance to 10 for a more realistic outcome, and now the pleats look perfect. The front part of the skirt is finished, so let's select it and add a symmetry pattern for the back. Position it in the back and sew the side seams with the segment sewing tool. Simulate. Let's give the waistband a bit more substance by adding the extra render thickness in the property editor to your preferred value. Also, as I want my skirt to be made out of silk, I usually check the double-sided box in the edge properties. This is especially fitting since silk lacks elasticity and I plan to add a side seam zipper later on. Remove the strengthening and let's add my silk material for the skirt by going to the resource library. Here you will find plenty of fabrics, so let's type in silk. Select your desired fabric and drag it to the materials box. Assign the pattern pieces. Select all of the pattern pieces and reduce the particle distance a little bit more. I always render it at 5 as I think that gives me the best rendering results and quality. Simulate accurately. We can see that the waistband needs to be reinforced, so in the property editor add bond that acts as an interlining. I just decided I want the skirt to be longer, so let's just select it and drag it to the desired length. Since the patterns are symmetric, the back will extend simultaneously as well. Simulate, remove the strengthening, and the pleated skirt is complete. Now you can have fun with adding your trims, textures, and colors. I really hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to comment or leave a message and I will try and help. So until next time, keep on being creative.